Today, 3 signs that you and your twin flame are meant to be together. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kurt. I'm the world's #1 twin flame coach. I've personally coached over 7,000 twin flame students to date, and I've got a lot of people all over my YouTube channel, you guys, that are with their twin flames. So if you're feeling hopeless, I got some good news for you. It's possible. And of course it's possible. Think about this for a second. What does everybody say about twin flames? The one thing everybody says about twin flames is that it's one soul in 2 bodies. Now, there's a lot of differing advice about what to do to get your twin flame to be with you, right? There's like a million different ideas about what you're supposed to do. But the one thing everybody agrees on is what twin flames are, the same soul. Side note, don't you think that's a little off? Everybody agrees what twin flames are, but then everybody tells you different things to do. That doesn't make any sense. Well, now maybe you have a little bit of insight into the secret of my success as the world's #1 twin flame coach. Now, let's get into these signs. I'm going to list them off, and then we'll go through each one of them one by one further in detail. Number 1, you experience a spiritual awakening of the first order. And it's not like you're taking psychedelic drugs. I mean, you can do that if you want. But it's happening apart from that. This is a natural thing that's happening to you without any like drugs, or you didn't just decide to join an ashram and start meditating, right? It's like all of a sudden your whole world is turned upside down and you're having this experience, and it was like it was forced upon you, right? So this kind of spontaneous spiritual awakening. And there's a lot of interesting and paranormal things that go along with that. You like know your life is going to change, and we'll get into all that stuff, but that's the biggest one, you guys. And I'm going to give you some resources and some tips today on how to like get your twin flame to be with you for sure. Because what you really need to do is focus on the awakening instead of your twin. So we'll come back to that. Number 2, you have let go of the outcome, which sounds like weird and paradoxical to some people, because they're thinking, well, I got to get my twin flame to be with me. How do I do that? I want to be with them. And what I'm telling you is you've let go of the outcome, and that's when they want to be with you, your twin. Isn't that interesting? And this works a lot different than people realize it does. There's a lot of people that are going to tell you, it works the same as soulmates. It's like soulmates, only better, right? Your twin flame is like a super soulmate, right? And I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. Number 3, you're not focused on them. So kind of the same thing. You've let go of the outcome. You're not really focused on them. You're not doing anything to get your twin flame to come back. That's right, when they come back. And again, this works different than soulmates because it's not soulmates. The rules are different, very different. And I just want to offer this free resource to you right now. You're in the right place, guys. I've got a lot of information on my YouTube channel. I've helped a lot of people to be with their twin flame. I cracked the code. I did the thing. There's a master class that you can watch right now for free if you want to get started. It's the #1 mistake everybody makes on the twin flame journey. Everybody makes this mistake. They treat it like soulmates, and they don't realize that they're doing that, okay? And you might already be doing that. That's what most of the internet is doing. Sometimes people find the truth. Unfortunately, twin flames has turned it into this like online frenzy fad, and that's not it, guys. That's the mistake everybody's making, is they think it's super soulmates, and it's not. It's not another soul. It's your soul, right? So go check out my free masterclass. There's a link down in the description box down below. It's absolutely free. Click the link, watch that masterclass, and get going, guys. Get started on this. You can get the running and chasing to end with your twin flame. So reincarnation, we already know about this stuff, guys. Your twin flame is your soul, which is the first sign that we're going to talk about today, the spiritual awakening that you're experiencing. And you might not realize right now that that's what's happening to you. You could still be in this desperate state. You are trying to figure out how to get them to be with you. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle where you're transitioning out of that. I've made lots of videos about that too. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel. Don't forget this, write this down. I got a lot of resources on here, guys. The playlist is called The True Twin Flame Teachings. If you go to the homepage of this channel and scroll down a bit, you'll find it. The True Twin Flame Teachings. There's a video in there. There's several where I talk about the 5 true twin flame signs. And that's always the first one, right? This dark night of the soul, this ego death, this desperation that you're going through. But here's the thing. If you really met your twin flame, then someday you'll look back in hindsight, and strange to say, this might sound crazy right now, but you'll actually be glad that you went through that. This ego death, this dark night of the soul, this sense of desperation. There's a sense of meaninglessness. You've got this meaninglessness gripping you. You can't function at all. Like I couldn't do basic things like eat or sleep, right? There's this obsessive thinking. You can't stop thinking about them, right? Now, after that, and I'll tell you what right now, man. You have to stop chasing your twin. You have to stop making them the goal, right? You have to get a hold of yourself here, right? Because if you can, we'll talk about how to do that, but if you can do that, when you come out of this desperate dark night of the soul experience, if you met your twin flame, you will have a spiritual awakening of the first order, okay? The first thing, let's just get this out of the way right now. All this cool paranormal stuff that's happening to you, you may be experiencing a sense of knowing, like this intuitive knowing, for example. And I think almost all of you have experienced this. You've got this knowing that they are your twin flame. You're not thinking it. It's this weird knowing. It's like deja vu, kind of, right? Like with deja vu, you feel like, I just know I've done this before, or I know I've been here before, right? So there's this knowing, but there's also thinking going on about the knowing. Think about that for a second. So there's the knowing and thinking. So those are two things, right? Well, they're coming from two places. The thinking is the mind. The knowing is the soul, which is the real you. Again, what does everybody say about twin flames? They're the same soul, and you are the same soul, right? It's reincarnation. We know this stuff, guys. This is people have known about reincarnation for a long time. So you literally met another incarnation of your soul, right? It's one of your past lives, technically. So this diagram here, this represents, so this circle, this is your soul in, I guess what you would call heaven, right? Or the afterlife, the higher planes, the energy part of the universe. All of these red dots, these represent individual incarnations that you've lived. This one here is you and your twin flame. But reincarnation is a time machine. You can hop all around in time, you guys. You can do that. So go check out my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. There's also my Twin Flame Science playlist that you can check out. So when you meet this person, they trigger this awakening, right? And you may have this knowing that they are your twin flame. And it's like, how do I know that? So again, back to the deja vu, using deja vu as an example, because intuition is just like that. There's this weird knowing, like I know we're going to be together, or I know that they're my twin flame. And there's thinking about the knowing, okay? So that's telling you that there's kind of two things going on, right? Other intuition that you could be having is knowing that your life is about to change in ways that you can't explain. Like you feel like something really big is about to happen. And again, you might not be experiencing some of the things that I'm talking about in today's video yet. Some of you, all of you, you're kind of in different places on your journey. If you're still in this desperate way, this dark night of the soul, again, we're going to talk about like what you can do to get out of it and start having these experiences. Like, how can I push things along, move things along here? I want some progress, right? Because after the dark night of the soul, they call that ego death in the Zen traditions. After dark night of the soul, that's when a lot of this stuff is going to start happening. So you have this weird intuitive knowing. Again, it's kind of like deja vu, where you can't explain the knowing. You think about the knowing, so there's the thinking and there's the knowing, and the thinking wants to explain the knowing, right? So the knowing is something unique. It's called intuition. It's a form of psychic ability. That's why for this kind of subsection, I said, well, let's talk about this paranormal stuff first. So that's intuition. You might be having telepathy. Telepathy is specifically when you see or hear things in your third eye. That does happen. You can hone that as a skill. There's people that do that. But to occur like naturally as a result of this spiritual awakening, that doesn't happen a lot for most people, telepathy. What does happen 100% of the time, if you met your twin flame, is intuition, which again is another form of psychic ability. It's the most common one, and it feels kind of like deja vu. And these life changes, you just know something big is going to happen. There's going to be changes in your life, and then it does. And again, you might not be experiencing that now, so kind of tuck this video away. You can come back to it later. Maybe wait 6 months, a year, something like that. And you go, wait a minute. Yeah, that one guy on YouTube told me that this would happen, right? And what happened to me, for example, was first I had this knowing that my life was about to change. Something really big was about to happen. And then my job went away. My relationship went away. Everything broke down. Like everything broke down, right? And this is what I tell my coaching students. I go, you have to tear down the old piece of shit shack first before you can build the big, beautiful crystal castle in its place. So it might seem very painful for you to go through a divorce, to change jobs, whatever it is, yada, yada, right? But then something amazing emerges. And you guys, it's true. I'm living this completely different life. And that's what happens to my students. So all of these things should be going on. These are all indicators that you're on the right track. You're focusing on the right things, and your twin flame in you, I mean, they're coming back, guys. Again, this is what I tell people. Embrace your awakening, not the person. You got to stop chasing your twin flame. So remember I said, I'm going to tell you how to get out of the dark night of the soul. That's the first thing you need to do. Stop chasing your twin flame. Stop obsessively looking at twin flame information. I mean, learn about this, yes. Understanding twin flames, it's not something you're going to learn in a hot 5 minutes. That's why I keep telling you, go watch my free masterclass. Go sign up for my paid coaching. It's affordable, it's effective, it's extensive. There's also my playlists on my YouTube channel, right? Your twin flame is your soul, guys. I tell people all the time, I think we should refer to it as simultaneous incarnations, SI, right? Simultaneous incarnations, SI, right? Your twin flame is your other self, okay? So this is real. Understanding this isn't going to happen in 5 minutes. So you can be doing that part right now, but you got to stop chasing them, guys. You got to stop pining for them, begging to talk to them, stalking them on social media. And definitely learn to start meditating. Read this book. Read this book. This guy here, this is the modern day Buddha, basically. Eckhart Tolle, right? I have all my twin flame coaching students read this book. You got to transcend the mind. Your twin flame is your soul. Remember your body, mind, soul, right? Okay, well, most of the people on the internet, nice enough people, great people, they're sincere, they really want to help you, the people giving you twin flame advice, but they're giving you a bunch of like mental gymnastics to do. And you don't need to do any of that stuff. I mean, you can do that stuff. It just doesn't help you here with your twin, guys. This is what helps you, all right? And the first thing, again, Eckhart Tolle, one of the great spiritual masters, everybody recognizes him as essentially the modern day Buddha, right? First thing he's going to tell you, you are not your mind. Look at that. It's the first chapter in his book here. This is the essence of genuine spiritualism. Your twin flame is your spirit, guys. You are simultaneous incarnations, SI. So that's where you got to go, guys. You got to do as the soul if you want your twin flame to come back. And the soul isn't focusing on any kind of an outcome. It's not focusing outside. It's all just, I am. It's not, I'm focusing on myself either. That's not quite it. It's I am focus itself. I am consciousness, which is another thing that I wanted to mention with you. So you may experience like what they call union or unity consciousness, which is what that word really means. It's not a relationship status with your twin flame, guys. And there's another video down below called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. So separation and union, those come from the Zen traditions, guys. Genuine spiritualism, okay? Those are states of consciousness. And somebody who I think must have been a twin flame a long time ago took those words and started using them for twin flames, but now the whole internet is using them the wrong way. You guys think those words are talking about a relationship status with your twin flame. Stop saying that you're in separation. That's not what that word is, guys. Nobody does that, okay? Ram Dass and Yogananda and Eckhart Tolle and the big names in spiritualism, they're going to be using the word separation or the word union to describe states of consciousness. They're not talking about twin flames, okay? So go watch that video. And it's interesting because the true twin flame teachings are just right under your nose then, aren't they? Because everybody's using these words, but nobody knows why we're using them. Think about that. Have you ever seen anybody do that? Like who says we're in union? No one. Right, well, twin flames do. Why? Well, again, go watch my video down below. So union, again, is this higher state of consciousness beyond mind, right? Like if I was to ask you, who are you beyond the body and beyond the mind? You're going to go, well, I'm a soul, right? But what is that? It's consciousness. It's pure awareness. It's being, and it's not focused on the outside, okay? It's not thought. It's not emotion. We're not saying thought and emotion is bad. That's just not what the soul is. The soul is just existing. It's just pure awareness. Okay? So that's why you may start to have these experiences of oneness, like you feel like you are one with the clouds and the trees and the sky and other people and your twin flame. It's this weird knowing. Remember, we talked about that. You'll have this intuitive knowing. It's not mental or emotional. You could be thinking like, oh, I'm having this knowing now, right? But there's the knowing and thinking. They're not the same thing, okay? The knowing is the real self, by the way. You are not a thinker. Remember the first chapter of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Modern Day Buddha. You are not your mind. So you have this experience that you're one with everything. And it's not even that. It's not even technically that you're one with everything. It's just there's one thing, and I am that. That's the best way you can explain it. Words are not great to explain these deeper non-dual teachings of genuine spiritualism. Okay, we have to do something. We have to say something, but there's kind of a language barrier. Words are duality. The soul is beyond duality and form, guys. It's just oneness. Okay? So you're going to be having those types of experiences. You could be seeing numbers everywhere, 1111, 222, 444, 1111, 1111, 333, 1111, lots of 1111, right? Interesting synchronistic events, like little signs, things that just line up. This kind of stuff is happening a lot. It's because your consciousness is exploding. You're having an intense spiritual awakening, and your consciousness, think of it like it's kind of just bouncing off the universe and feeding back to you. The universe, this intelligent force, this divine intelligence all around us is communicating with you because you're communicating with it, whether you know it or not. So you're having all of these interesting experiences and you feel like your life is going to change and these types of things. Okay, number 2 and number 3, again, you've let go of the outcome. You're not focused on your twin flame. I think that should be pretty self-evident by now. You're not really focused on them. You may not have been thinking about them for a long time. You guys, you got to focus on your awakening. And that doesn't mean crystals and healing and incense and stuff like that. Those things are okay to do, but that's not really spiritualism. This is spiritualism. This is where you got to go, guys. Start with this book. Go watch my other videos. I've got a lot of them, you guys. Sign up for my paid coaching. Don't forget the free masterclass down below. Learn the true meaning of separation and union. Learn what those words really mean. Those come from the Zen traditions, not twin flames. And you'll know exactly what to do to get your twin flame to come back. And they're going to come back again right when you're not focusing on them because you're in here, guys. And that's all there is. All right, you guys, great video today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.